A family in mourning. First tonight on our news, live at 7.
Just weeks after Chanel Adderley tragically died here on Prince Charles Drive in a traffic fatality, her parents say they're now pulling together to support each other and pick up the pieces. Stay tuned to our news tonight for more details.
Plus, National Security Minister Wayne Monroe says the Police Staff Association has not formally raised concerns about officers' dependents being denied insurance coverage, despite claims outlined in a recent letter. Also, the country's highest court has granted bail to a man accused of murdering his nephew. Then in our news at 7:30, as government explores new energy options for Grand Bahama, the local chamber urging caution, arguing a state takeover of DP Power could weaken the company's standards. Our news, live at 7, starts right now. Welcome to our news, live at 7. Thanks for joining us tonight. I'm Kendino Knowles. Family is preparing to lay their loved one to rest 10 days after a tragic traffic accident cut her life short as she slept in the back seat of a car. Tonight, her parents and siblings speaking out, remembering a young woman they say was full of energy, love, and light. Joshua Williams sat down with the family in this Our News exclusive.
It's really hard to believe that she is gone. I can't say.
That's reality setting in for Dion and Philippa Adderley, heartbroken. Their daughter, Chanel Adderley, one of the country's recent car crash victims. The teenager died on January 19th after the car she was in crashed into a wooden pole on Prince Charles Drive. A message at midnight confirmed she was on her way home from a function. But as time passed and she didn't show up, they knew something was wrong.
We went to the friend's house to go look for her. We saw the accident. But my husband came out and he spoke to the officer, but the officer said that the passenger had died. He never said it was a male or female. And we found out from one of the passengers' father that she had passed.
It's a heartbreaking ending to a life cut short. The outpouring of support evident in the flowers and cards in their living room in tribute. And in the midst of this nightmare, they're looking back on the good times. Her dad sharing a video made the morning she died.
And every time I'm on that drive with her, I got to be in a TikTok video. So she's holding up her phone and she's like, "Daddy, look." And she got to do a TikTok video. And so, I'll be like, "Chanel, I driving, man, leave me." But, I tell them, it's like, it's so amazing to know that what you would not do right now to have those bunch of TikTok videos and the hell bother you and you saying, "Leave me," you would accept all of that right now.
And while it's been a difficult few weeks, the Adderleys tell me they're grateful for their community that's rallied behind them.
From everybody who stepped in tremendously, I have to give thanks to literally everybody who knew her, because persons were stepping in big time. But the only way to get through this is to continue to trust God. And like I say, realize that He doesn't make mistakes.
Reporting for Our News, I'm Joshua Williams.
All right, thanks for that, Josh. National Security Minister Wayne Monroe disputing claims by Police Staff Association, saying his ministry has not received any formal complaints about officers' dependents being left without insurance coverage. The pushback comes after a January 7th letter from the association, which alleges officers who recently married or had children submitted the required documents, but later discovered their families were not covered even when seeking medical care at hospitals and clinics. Speaking at the office of the Prime Minister's weekly press briefing, Monroe said no such report was made to the ministry and pointed to a policy change affecting new entrants to the police force.
There was a policy change for new entrants to the service, that the dependent coverage would not be extended to the dependents, but we would cover the officers themselves. The justification for covering the security forces as opposed to any other government worker was the danger associated with their job. For persons who had coverage for their dependents before, if your dependent who was covered is denied service.
Now, this is not the first time Police Staff Association has taken its concerns public. Several letters have surfaced over the past months, raising questions about coverage gaps and claiming government funds owed to the insurer have affected access to medical care for officers and their families. But Monroe acknowledged there may be cases where dependents, particularly those traveling to the United States for treatment, are denied coverage. He says any such case and other inconsistencies should be formally reported to the ministry so they can be investigated and addressed.
The job of the Staff Association isn't to write you letters. It's to bring your case forward to the ministry, exactly what the Correctional Staff Association does. When anything affects their members, they complain vociferously to the ministry, and we're pleased to say that we've been able to address all of their concerns as to their entitlement.
The Court of Appeal has granted bail to a man accused of killing his nephew, ruling that a Supreme Court judge erred in concluding he would interfere with witnesses if released. A three-member panel headed by Milton Evans allowed Alfred McKinney's appeal, overturning a decision by Joyanne Ferguson Pratt, which had denied him bail in connection with the November 6, 2024 shooting death of Christian McKinney on Finlayson Street. Bail was set at $25,000. Under the terms, McKinney must wear an ankle monitor, sign in at a police station 3 times a week, surrender his travel documents, and have no contact with his niece, Anthony McKinney, who is a key prosecution witness. Prosecutors allege she saw the accused chasing his nephew moments before Christian McKinney was found unresponsive, with gunshot wounds to the abdomen. The state also alleges McKinney told his girlfriend, Ashley Johnson, that he had shot Christian in his belly. But Johnson has since recanted that claim in an affidavit filed for the appeal, alleging she was coerced into implicating McKinney after being plied with alcohol. As tourism arrivals hit record levels in 2025, government is pushing back against critics while pointing to what it calls a clear bright spot in the numbers. The tourism minister says strong airlift, targeted marketing, and sustained engagement are paying off, with Canadian visitors now playing a bigger role in the country's tourism mix.
Madam Speaker, Canada is a bright spot, and I want the House to understand why that matters.
Coming off a record-breaking year that saw more than 12.5 million visitors come to the Bahamas, the Ministry of Tourism now zeroing in on where some of the most strategic growth is coming from: Canada.
My name is Christine Joy and I'm from Toronto. I love it here. I came here for vacation and I would live here.
In a communication to the House of Assembly Wednesday, Deputy Prime Minister and Minister of Tourism, Aviation and Investments Chester Cooper said Canadian stopover arrivals surpassed pre-pandemic levels. The minister linked that performance directly to airlift, pointing to new and expanded routes as proof that tourism marketing is delivering what he says are tangible results.
Our ministry statistics note plainly that by December year-end 2025, stopover arrivals from Canada outperformed 2024 and surpassed 2019 with the launch of our flights by Porter Airlines and increased airlift by WestJet and Air Canada.
Cooper described that growth as a return on investment, arguing that strategic route development and consistent engagement with the market are translating into real business for the country.
That's what marketing return on investment looks like. It's airlift, it's route development, it is sustained engagement, and it's a serious marketing machinery delivering real business and real results.
The minister told Parliament that government expects that momentum to continue.
Canada now accounts for 7% of stopover business in 2025, and we anticipate that this momentum will continue in line with our strategy.
But even as he highlighted those gains, Cooper used the communication to push back against what he described as a negative national narrative surrounding tourism success. Without naming anyone directly, he suggested some criticism is driven less by data and more by politics.
The idea that national success should be treated as a political inconvenience is not patriotism. This record performance in tourism is not a small feat. It reflects sustained global demand, a strong brand, and a tourism strategy that's delivering economic impact across the country.
All right, we've got much more to get to tonight, but for now, it's time for your first look at temperatures. Meteorologist Greg Thompson, he is standing by in the Weather Center. Greg?
Yeah, thanks, Kinino, and a happy Thursday evening, everybody. A nice, much warmer evening on the outside right now. 66 degrees is our current temperature with a few clouds. Winds out of the northeast at 15 miles per hour. Feels like temperature is at 65, and we did manage to see a bit of a warm-up today. Current temperatures around the islands right now, 64 in Freeport, Grand Bahama, as well as in Marsh Harbor, Abaco. 70 over in Allenstown, Bimini. Then we pick up 68s, Nicholstown, Andros, Great Harbor, Keithbury Islands, Governors Harbor, Eleuthera. Here in the capital, 66. Central Bahamas, 69 in Kemps Bay, Arthurstown, Cat Island, and Coburn Town, San Salvador. 68 in Black Point, Exuma. Then we have some 70s, 71 in Georgetown, Exuma, Port Nelson, and in Deadman's Key. And down in the southeast Bahamas, 74, Duncantown, Ragged Island. More 72s popping up in Colonel Hill, Cricket Island, Delectable Bay, Acklands, Abrams Bay, 74, as well as Providenciales, Tricks, and Caicos Islands, and Matthewtown, Inagua, Deep South. You round out our temperature profile at 75. Satellite radar composite, that frontal boundary still stalled down near the southeast Bahamas, producing quite a bit of clouds and some showers, possibly even an isolated thunderstorm or two just to the south of Inagua and the Turks and Caicos Islands. But we got some clearing across the northwest Bahamas. Some of those clouds burned off. We got lots of sunshine. Temperatures managed to get up into the 70s. But we are expecting a more significant front to be coming through us by Saturday into Sunday. We'll tell you more about that later on in the newscast.
Coming up in sports, basketball around the world, college hoops, free agency in Spain, and an NBA update.
Oh, isn't that nice? Wait, you missed it?
Hey, Greg Thompson here, and thank you for watching. Be sure to hit that follow button. And if you want to see more content like this, follow all of our news social media pages. And hey, don't forget to turn on your notifications so you never miss out on the top stories from the team you already trust.
When I started in telecommunications in 1998, I was bored and overwhelmed because I said, this is the best kept secret in the world.
The Bahamas issued a call for a cable license.
So we were a startup, a brand new entity in a brand new country with a product that nobody really understood.
People didn't believe, it was difficult. Ingram said that will never happen.
They turned us down, and Phil decided, you know what? Well, we're gonna chart our own destiny, and we're gonna build our own network.
Once you started to hear about cable TV, it really didn't make any difference because your reality was, okay, we're gonna have one more channel, and you didn't think it was going to have such an impact until you got it.
Yo, what's good, my loyal viewers? Ronaldo Dorset of 10YS here. First of all, thanks so much for watching, but be sure to hit that follow button. If you'd like to see more content like this, follow all of the R News social media pages, and of course, don't forget to turn on your notifications so you never miss out on the top stories from the team, from the teams you already trust.
It only takes a second for things to go wrong. Are you prepared? Don't become a statistic. Follow these simple rules. Leave early, obey road signs, wear seatbelts, invest in hands-free devices, and don't drink and drive. I'm Inspector Gerard.
Welcome to Our Sports at 7, presented by 10th Year Seniors. I'm Ronaldo Dorset. That's John Mark Nutt. Let's do show. You just gotta love when transfers work out perfectly. Sometimes a change of scenery is just what you need for your production to really shine through. Remember that when you go to work tomorrow. You can be just like Brent Moss and Frederick King. Both players stood tall for their teams with some standout performances Wednesday night, but both efforts came in hard-fought losses. Moss tied his career high with a game-high 19 points and grabbed 7 boards to lead his San Antonio, Texas Roadrunners, but they still couldn't get their first win in American Conference play. King continued his impressive first year with the Murray State Racers. He recorded his 7th double-double of the season with 19 points and 11 rebounds, but Murray State came up just short in a 70-65 loss to Illinois State.
Just when it looked like things wasn't working out in Spain, Travis Munnings had a change of scenery and signed with a new club. Munnings has signed with Spanish Premier FEB team Mombas Obra after parting ways with Corvian Granada of the ACB League earlier this month.
I can't tell if everything going on in California is good or bad for Bahamian basketball. It feels like it changes day to day. We are still confused after last night. Golden State and Los Angeles were on opposite sides of the scoreboard Wednesday night, but both games featured notable contributions from Buddy Hield and DeAndre Ayton. In Salt Lake City, the Warriors rolled to a 140-124 win over the Utah Jazz. Hield scored 13 points in 17 minutes on 5 for 8 shooting from the field, 3 for 6 from 3. Meanwhile, in Cleveland, it was a tough night for the Lakers, who lost 129-99 to the Cleveland Cavs. Ayton finished with 10 points on a perfect 4 for 4 shooting night with 4 boards in just 19 minutes. That'll do it for Our Sports. Stay tuned to Our News at 7:30 for details on these stories and more.
When our news comes back from the break, we turn our spotlight to stories making headlines across the world as CARICOM Chair Dr. Terrence Drew traveling to Trinidad and Tobago this week for high-level discussions with regional leaders. Plus, the British government has unveiled a relief package for pubs and live music venues in England, easing planned property tax hikes that sparked closure concerns. The story when Our News returns.
Let's talk. Conflict doesn't have to end in chaos. Before it escalates, take a breath. Step back. Choose peace. Listen to understand. Respectful conversations lead to real solutions. I am Sergeant 3599 Johnson of the Royal Bahamas Police Force, urging you, let's talk it out, not fight it out.
From 2017, one show has set the standard for current affairs in the Bahamas, and that's On the Record, one of the longest running current affairs shows on RTV. We've been the place where newsmakers come to talk. We've sat down with leaders in government, cultural icons, industry leaders, and international experts. From breaking news to in-depth analysis, our conversation sets the tone for the nation. We've tackled the biggest issues on the planet, held world leaders accountable, and given voice to the people. From politics to culture, business to the environment, no topic is off limits. Join us every Thursday at 8 p.m. and again on Sunday at 8:30 p.m. Catch us streaming live on Facebook or catch up with your favorite episodes on our YouTube channel. 9 seasons strong, and we're just getting started. This is On the Record.
Too many suffer in silence, but silence only protects the abuser. Your feelings are real. Your safety matters. It's time to break the silence. If someone is hurting you, speak up. We will listen. We will help. I am Police Constable 4286 Sinead Douglas of the Royal Bahamas Police Force.
This is Our News. Welcome back. We turn our attention now to stories making headlines across the world. The chair of the Caribbean Community, Dr. Terrence Drew, is headed to Trinidad and Tobago this week for high-level talks with regional leaders CARICOM announced this week Dr. Drew is scheduled to meet with Prime Minister Kamala Persad-Bissessar and members of her cabinet as part of his push for direct face-to-face engagement across the region. The visit follows meetings held just last week in Kingstown. CARICOM says the outreach is aimed at strengthening regional dialogue and coordination among member states. At least 7 people are confirmed dead after a passenger boat carrying more than 300 people capsized off the southern Philippine province of Basilan. The Philippine Coast Guard says the vessel overturned shortly after midnight while traveling from Zamboanga to Jolo in Sulu province. Officials say there were 352 passengers and 27 crew members on board. As of Monday, more than several hundred people have been rescued, with at least 7 bodies recovered and more than 140 still missing. The Coast Guard says an investigation is underway to determine what caused the accident. The British government announced Tuesday a relief package for pubs and live music venues in England, easing planned property tax rises that triggered warnings of widespread closures. The move follows sharp backlash from the hospitality sector, with the British Beer and Pub Association warning up to 15,000 jobs could be at risk. Under the plan, pubs will receive a 15% discount on business rates, with bills frozen for another 2 years.
This support is worth £1,650 for the average pub just next year, and will mean that around 3/4 of pubs will see their bills either fall or stay the same next year. Then bills will be frozen in real terms for the next 2 years. This week is also Independent Venue Week, so it is particularly appropriate that I can announce also that our package will apply to music venues too. Many live music venues are valued as pubs, and many pubs are grassroots live music venues. It would not be right to seek to draw the line so tightly so as to include some and not others.
Long-term alcohol use is being linked to a sharply higher risk of colorectal cancer, according to a new study published in the journal called Cancer. Researchers found people with consistent heavy drinking habits faced up to a 91% higher risk, with the strongest link seen in rectal cancer. Experts told ABC News that quitting or reduced alcohol may lower pre-cancer risk, calling alcohol a well-established carcinogen. The findings come as colorectal cancer rates rise, especially among younger adults, with doctors urging early screening and lifestyle changes. Well, Bahamian businesses are being urged to treat disaster preparedness as a core business strategy, with a warning that companies that fail to plan risk losing staff, operations, and revenue when disasters strike. The message coming from the Disaster Risk Management Authority, which says resilience is now essential to long-term economic survival, particularly in a country as exposed as the Bahamas. The call was made at the 2026 Business Outlook, with companies encouraged to invest in readiness now rather than pay a higher price after a crisis. Delvado Emmanuel, he has more in tonight's Sustainability First.
Bahamas First, putting sustainability first for our people and our environment. What's first for you and the planet comes first for us.
When disaster strikes, it's not just homes and roads that take a hit. Businesses can lose inventory, power, staff, and days, sometimes weeks of income. And that's why Disaster Risk Management Authority Managing Director Aaron Sargent says resilience has to be the foundation for the business community, not an afterthought.
Business resilience has to make sense in the real world as businesses operate in the real world. What we see on screen are disasters, preparedness, outages, inflation, workforce, geopolitics, and I think we can all agree with some of the words that are showing up on the screen. These risks are real, and they're not theoretical.
Sargent told business leaders at the 2026 Business Outlook that disasters should be seen as economic events with real consequences for operations, supply chains, revenue, and customer confidence.
Disasters are economic events as much as they are humanitarian ones. They disrupt operations, supply chains, employment, revenue, infrastructure, and consumer demand. In a country exposed as the Bahamas, every major hazard has direct and immediate business consequences.
He pointed to Hurricane Dorian as the wake-up call that exposed major weaknesses and forced the country to redesign its disaster risk management system. That new framework, the Disaster Risk Management Act 2022, is designed to push the nation from reacting after a storm to planning and investing before one forms.
It lays down the foundational principles that strengthen the base of our national resilience system. The first principle is that our approach must be comprehensive. The Act requires us to look beyond emergency response and focus on reducing risk across every part of society, protecting lives, health, infrastructure, economy, and our environment.
Reporting for Our News and reminding you to put sustainability first, I'm Delvado Emmanuel.
Still to come in our news, today in history, find out interesting facts about the day that was January 29th. Then in our news at 7:30, staffing pressures mounting at Princess Margaret Hospital after nurses called in sick overnight over unpaid monies. Former Health Minister Dr. Dwayne Sands weighing in. And in tonight's Grand Review, the co-owner of Moore's Bakery tells our Megan Shepherd how a message of faith led to a thriving business. When our news returns.
Every year, car theft in the Bahamas rises. Thieves are getting smarter and faster. Is your car a target? Compact vehicles are at risk. Don't become a victim. Simple steps can make all the difference. Lock your car. Invest in anti-theft devices. Park smart. Protect yourself. Stay alert. I am PC 4392, Trayshawn Ferguson. Stay vigilant. Report suspicious activity. And let's create safer communities together. Learn more by visiting theroyalbahamaspoliceforce.org.
My name is Trevi Williams. I've been a Live Fiber customer since March 2024. The installation process was seamless, effortless, and extremely fast. The gentlemen that came to the installation were very helpful, reliable, very knowledgeable, and the time allocated to do the installation was shorter than the time specified. Yeah, the previous provider I had, I noticed that the internet speed actually had intermittent services, so I was very grateful that the live fiber was available in my area. Once I was able to make the switch, my service and everything I needed was satisfied. My favorite feature would actually be being able to add any apps from the Play Store. It's just basically making any dumb TV a smart TV. I do a lot of back-end support, engineering support, helping clients working remotely when I'm from home. The internet is a very important aspect of my job and my life. My name is Trey Williams, and the future is home with a live fiber.
The dangers are escalating. Vaping liquid marijuana is on the rise, damaging lungs and increasing stroke risk. And a deadly new trend, lean, cough syrup, soda, and candy, a lethal combination that can cause seizures and even death. Possession means arrest and prosecution. I am Corporal 2641 Rory Fox of the Royal Bahamas Police Force. Protect your loved ones.
On this day in Bahamian history, in 1958, the general strike came to an end after taxi drivers successfully challenged exclusive airport rights held by white-owned tour companies. In 1970, a Lutheran native, Dexter Ryan Cambridge, was born, later going on to play in the NBA with the Dallas Mavericks. In 2016, the Bahamas secured hosting rights for Commonwealth Youth Games, with judo added to the games for the first time. And in 2021, a major fire forced the shutdown of sections of Bay Street. If you want to learn more about the events that shaped the day that was January 29th, head over to ournews.bs. That's going to do it for us in News at 7. Natalia Hall, she's up next at 7:30. But first, it's time now for Thursday is a New Friday with entertainment correspondent Danielle Miller. Tonight, she's on Bay Street for Junior Junkanoo. So, Denny, how are things looking?
Bay Street this Thursday night in the perfect Junkanoo weather for Junior Junkanoo. And out here is life. I can't even joke about it. The kids are having fun, but the parents are having more fun than the kids, including the teachers as well. And it's just so wonderful. I think that's the perfect word, to see members of the community come out and support these kids. You have government officials that are out here, leaders in the Junkanoo community, as well as members of Scotia Bank, not only locally, but internationally, all excited to see these kids hit Bay Street and put on a show. And I'm going to get back to that show. But before I do, I have to show my bias. Go Stingrays. The first Christian private government school of the Bahamas, CV Bethel, is competing tonight in the Junior John Canoe Parade. I am alum of CV Bethel, and I can't wait to see them. All right, Ken and Natalia, back to you in studio.
All right, thanks so much
Denny.
for that, Denny. Denny is definitely dressed for the weather.
The weather,
Natalia, you
yes.
As well, I see turtleneck. I heard you were cracking on.
Yes, say that I think I'm in New York, yes.
Listen.
I
But
do
hey,
think that.
You know what? I'm there mentally too.
Yes.
But I went to ask, if your little one decides that they want to do Junior John Canoe, does that mean you're going to go?
Yes, of course.
I mean, we were having a back and forth about whether you would go to John Canoe.
No,
you were
I
not
have
here
to.
for it.
I have to. All right, well, stay tuned to our news on Thursdays to see more escapades like that one with our Danielle Miller. Here are your latest headlines.
First tonight on our news at 7:30, frustration is boiling over at the Princess Margaret Hospital with several nurses calling in sick overnight. The action comes days after the nurses union reveal outstanding payments owed to staff. Former Health Minister Dr. Dwayne Sands says the situation is unfortunate but not surprising. Also, the Grand Bahama Chamber of Commerce is pushing back against government plans to acquire the Grand Bahama Power Company, warning the move could shift financial losses to taxpayers without improving reliability. Plus, residents in Coral Harbor voiced concerns about lighting, water pressure, and ongoing disruptions during a town hall meeting. And later, environmental advocates are sounding the alarm over potential plans to clear the Propal Tract Wellfield Forest. Bash warns the move could threaten wetlands. Our news live at 7:30 is back in a moment.
This is the Ride On.
Candino Nodes here, and thank you so much for watching. Be sure and hit that follow button if you want to see more stories like this. Be sure and follow all of the R News social media pages. And hey, don't forget, turn on your notifications so you never miss out on top stories from the team you already trust.
Tired of weak, over-the-counter bug sprays? Step up your pest control game with professional-grade products from the Struckham Shop. From powerful insecticides to trusted gel baits and termiticides, we supply the same products used by Struckham Commercial Pest Services, now available for DIY homeowners and small pest control pros. Whether you're protecting your home or building your business, get the edge with the Struckham Shop.
In the Bahamas, island time is real. The history of Morris Lumber Company, established in 1945, is etched into the fabric of this proud island nation. It's a story that deserves to be celebrated in full color, and that's where we come in. Morris the Paint Place has been bringing color and vitality to homes and businesses across the Bahamas. Here, color is more than just a hue, it's a symbol of life. Together, we can paint a brighter future.
Family, how you look so down? Set up all cold and flu, could flip that frown. All the coughing and that running nose cannot last. You must come back to work and class.
Welcome to our news. Thanks so much for joining us. I'm Natalia Hall. First tonight, nurses' frustration boiling over at the Princess Margaret Hospital, many of them calling out sick overnight. Tonight, former Health Minister Dr. Dwayne Sands is speaking out. Our Delvardo Emmanuel reports.
The alleged sick out began last night, with sources telling our news several key units at Princess Margaret Hospital, including the intensive care unit, accident and emergency, and the dialysis unit, were reportedly left without coverage overnight after multiple nurses called in sick. And it's said to have continued today. The action is believed to be tied to the frustrations over unpaid overtime and outstanding holiday pay. Health officials have acknowledged delays, saying the matter is being addressed, but staff say they are still waiting for results. Our news reached out to former Health Minister and current Free National Movement Chairman Dr. Dwayne Sands, who says the reported sick out is unfortunate.
The administration can find money for anything else that it wants. Luxury travel,
hundreds of millions of dollars of roadworks, a dusty-made delegation to travel to Grand Bahama for a non-announcement, but they can't find the money to pay the hard-working staff that take care of our people.
Sands argued the dispute goes beyond overtime pay, pointing to what he calls long-standing challenges faced by nurses, doctors, and allied healthcare professionals. He says many are struggling financially while continuing to shoulder demanding workloads.
It is an existential problem when you have to combat your ethical and moral obligations as a care provider against your own personal welfare. There are people who are unable to pay their bills, even as they have to put on a happy face and come to work in our healthcare system. Can't afford to pay their children's school fees, their rent, groceries, light bills.
I reached out to the president of the Bahamas Nurses Union, Muriel Lightbourne, to confirm the sick out, but got no response up to news time. However, Press Secretary in the Office of the Prime Minister, Keishla Adderley, confirmed reports of nurses calling out, describing the situation as deeply concerning, emphasizing that healthcare delivery remains a top government priority.
We're very hopeful to speak with the relevant union stakeholders to get a handle on the problem, to speak about the situation, and to come to a resolution.
Reporting for Our News, I'm Delvado Emmanuel.
Thanks for that, Delvado. Well, following the sick out, the Public Hospitals Authority says funding for outstanding overtime has been approved and payments are now being processed. The PHA says talks with union representatives have been productive and contingency measures remain in place to maintain safe staffing and patient care. Well, as government explores a new direction for energy in Grand Bahama, opposition is beginning to surface. This as the Grand Bahama Chamber of Commerce is pushing back against the government's potential acquisition of the Grand Bahama Power Company, warning the move could create more problems than it solves. In a statement, the chamber says comparisons between electricity rates in Grand Bahama and New Providence ignore economies of scale. The chamber also pointing to Bahamas Power and Light's more than $500 million in debt. While the government responding to the Grand Bahama Chamber of Commerce's statement, government says they respect the chamber's role in advocating for Grand Bahama's commercial community. However, electricity is an essential infrastructure affecting public safety, cost of living, and economic competitiveness, and should not be treated as a conventional business. Now to read the full statements, they're available now at ournews.bs. National Security Minister Wayne Munroe is firing back at claims made in a U.S. courtroom that the Bahamas is riddled with drug money and corruption, saying Bahamians have every right to be offended. The comments came during the sentencing of former Defense Force officer Darren Roker, who received 4 years in prison for cocaine smuggling. Munroe echoing Police Commissioner Shanton Knowles' earlier comments.
I label him as a lawyer trying to get his client less time. As a matter of fact, Transparency International ranks us exactly the same as the US on the corruption index. I think it's at 28 out of 180 countries. So we're exactly the same as America. They came down to 28, we came up to 28.
Well, residents in Coral Harbor are raising concerns over ongoing road and drainage works 2 months into a major infrastructure project by the Ministry of Works. Those concerns were voiced at a town hall meeting last night where residents met with project managers and government officials. Top complaints included poor street lighting and low water pressure as the 12-month project continues.
There isn't going to be any additional lighting for in the nighttime because it's pretty dark, and then of any lighting on the road where the paving is highlighted or lighting on the road. That has been a tremendous concern.
Has to be addressed for any pathways. It's amazing nobody's been run over on that Coral Harbor Road. So that's something that, for the sake of life, for the sake of safety, and for the sake of the community, has to be
very bad. I don't care how much time I call water and sewage. It's always an issue. Water works, however, it's always an issue. And they always say, well, the pipes need to change. Please, consider all that as you all do this road, construction and everything else. So when you all go in, put in what needs to be put in, so you don't have to go back and dig up.
Responding to those concerns was Ministry of Works Senior Highway Engineer Francis Clark. Clark says water pressure issues are addressed monthly with WSC. He says based on those meetings, WSC has indicated there are no major projects planned for the near future. As for area lighting,
in this project, we did not include any lighting design. This is mainly a drainage and an arterial road improvement project. However, for nighttime visibility, we will be installing reflectorized pavement markings to help with the visibility. And we could always come back at a later time to see what type of illumination we have during the nighttime and request PPL to install more lighting.
environmental advocates raising the alarm over what they believe are government plans to clear their Propal Track wellfield forest, warning the move could destroy one of New Providence's last major natural wetland systems. Bahamas Association for Social Health, BASH, says the forest holds critical environmental, cultural, and historical value and should not be targeted for development. At a press conference Tuesday, BASH Executive Director Terry Miller calling it a major threat.
And an alarm that cannot be ignored. What appears to be unfolding before us is a plan by the government of the Bahamas to clear and destroy the Earth Village Propal Track wellfield forest, one of the last significant remaining natural forest systems on the island of New Providence. This is not just about trees. This is about history, science, water, flooding, community, common sense, and the future that we may be leaving behind.
Well, nice cool weather on this Friday, Junior. Meteorologist Greg Thompson is in the Weather Center with your first look. Greg, things are getting chilly.
Yeah, thanks, Italian. A happy Thursday evening, everybody. Much improved conditions on the outside. 66 is our current temperature. With just a few clouds, we got a lot of sunshine today, so a lot of those clouds burned off. Northeast winds at 15 miles per hour, still a bit of a breeze. Feels like temperature is hanging out in the mid-60s. Satellite radar composite, that frontal boundary near the southeast Bahamas, still down there producing a lot of clouds, as well as some isolated showers and possibly even an isolated thunderstorm. That frontal boundary will start to lift back towards the north, what's left of its moisture. So we could see some increasing clouds across the northwest Bahamas as we got a lot more sunshine today. And we could see a couple of isolated showers, but a more significant front for our cold weather lovers coming up on Sunday. Get ready for it. That's a quick check on conditions around the islands. Stick with us. A look at your extended forecast is still to come.
Still to come in our news, what started as a pandemic project has grown into a full-fledged mobile bakery tonight on Granderview. The co-owner of Moore's Bakery shares how faith and timing shaped their journey. But first, as the cost of living continues to rise, representatives from the country's major political parties share differing views on the record about how best to ease the burden on Bahamians. That's all coming up when our news returns.
Family, how you look so down? Set up all cold and flu, could flip that frown. All the coughing and that runny nose cannot last. You must come back to work and class. Set them all can deal with that fast, yeah. Try set them all cold and flu, daytime and nighttime too. Try Setamol, cold and flu, and get back to the better you. Available at pharmacies nationwide.
Distributed by Lowe's Wholesale Drug Agencies Limited.
Hello. What do I have in my biggie bag? Fries, nuggets, a chicken sandwich, an apple pie, a free apple pie. It also comes with a drink. You know what? A biggie bag a day keeps the hunger away.
For a limited time only, get a free apple pie with the purchase of the Biggie Bag.
When I started in telecommunications in 1998, I was bored and overwhelmed because I said, this is the best kept secret in the world.
The Bahamas issued a call for a cable license.
So we were a startup,
a brand new entity in a brand new country with a product that nobody really understood.
People didn't believe. It was difficult. Ingram said that will never happen.
They turned us down, and Phil decided, you know what? Well, we're gonna chart our own destiny, and we're gonna build our own network.
Once you started to hear about cable TV, it really didn't make any difference because your reality was, okay, we're gonna have one more channel.
The rising cost of living continues to be a widely debated issue across the country as many residents voice growing frustration over the high prices of everyday necessities such as groceries, gas, and rent. Well, tonight on the Record with host Jerome Sawyer, representatives from the country's major political parties weigh in on the issue, offering differing perspectives on how the matter should be addressed. Now, for more from On the Record, be sure to stay tuned. The discussion begins tonight at 8. Well, what started as a pandemic project has turned into a full-fledged mobile bakery. In tonight's Grand Review, the co-owner of Moore's Bakery tells our news anchor Megan Shepard how he and his wife got a prophetic message from a local pastor to start selling homemade baked goods.
Cecil Moore, along with his wife Shaniqua, are the owners of Moore's Bakery, conveniently located at the Cable Bahamas headquarters and cost right. Moore says during the pandemic, they would cook hot meals for local pastors. But one day, one of those pastors gave them an instruction she says came from the Lord.
One morning at 3-4 o'clock in the morning, the pastor came and said, the Lord said, we must bake bread and sell it. The name of the pastor, Apostle Carolyn Cooper, she came and said, God said, must bake bread and sell it. At that time, all I had was the rent money, a portion of the rent money. So through faith, I took and we purchased materials, and my wife began baking, and I come out and sell it.
Moore, who relies daily on an oxygen tank, says the business has been a blessing to help provide for his family.
I have a son in college, and also, got to pay rent and all those stuff. I am on disability, but disability, I just use the disability and try to flip it, buy materials, bake it, and sell it.
He credits God's grace for keeping the family business up and running over the years.
It's been now over 5 years, and God has been gracious to us, and the people love our bread. We try to do our best. Like, what our motto is, not just that you try the rest, try the best. A lot of people use that. Our motto is, if it ain't taste good, we give you your money back. Don't call Tyrone, call us.
But thankfully, he says, the business has been very well received, not only locally, but across the islands and internationally. He says once customers taste their baked goods, they often request shipping, and the Moores accommodate.
They really patronize, and we appreciate them so much. Like I said, we always want a feedback, from the customers so we can improve on our business.
And as to what's on the menu, well, there's something for everyone.
Well, we make coconut top seller, coconut rolls, cinnamon, raisin, regular rolls. We also mix them up, half coconut, half regular. What if, say, spouse don't like coconut and one don't like raisin, then one would eat raisin, one would eat coconut. Half plain, half coconut. We do wheat bread too, and we do loaf bread. We do wheat coconut, wheat raisin, wheat regular. We also do carrot cake, cinnamon roll, pumpkin roll, coconut tart. As you can see, if you would look, I have inside the cassava bread, banana bread. We do potato bread,
Reporting for our news, I'm Megan Shepard.
Coming up in sports, let's get started with college hoops. Big nights for Brent Moss and Frederick King didn't translate to wins. Travis Munnings gets a change of scenery and the latest from around the NBA.
Whether you're battling a chronic condition or offsetting a new injury,
Doctors Hospital's comprehensive rehab services offer the help you need now. Go to doctors. 3 advanced facilities at Collins Avenue, Carmichael Road, in Cable Beach means your personalized plan for care is just a visit away. From physiotherapy to occupational therapy and speech and language pathology, our team approach is all about rebuilding together. For a full list of services, visit doctorshosp.com/rehabilitation. Doctors Hospital, trusted and best care now. Isn't your health worth it?
It takes a second for things. It only takes a second for things to go wrong. Are you prepared? Don't become a statistic. Follow these simple rules. Leave early, obey road signs, wear seatbelts, invest in hands-free devices, and don't drink and drive. I'm Inspector Gerard Cum of the Royal Bahamas Police Force, reminding you that road safety is no accident.
It's more than a podcast. It's a movement. This is Breaking the Silence with Junior Clovis, where conversations we avoid finally have a place to breathe. Every story, every struggle, every breakthrough is brought to light, unfiltered and unspoken until now. Join us this Sunday at 2 p.m. as we confront the topics that matter, share real experiences, and change the conversation around mental health together. Watch, listen, break the silence.
In what we do at Best Brew, it really doesn't end when the customer purchases our product. We offer specialty coffee, tea, spices, and brewing equipment. We do a lot of our orders via website. We actually have the mobile service and the phone service and the internet. So having business in a box really kind of brought everything together for us and helps us to be able to provide the customer services that we pride ourselves on.
Welcome to Our Sports, presented by 10th Year Seniors. I'm Ronaldo Dorset. That's John Marknut. Let's do show. You just gotta love when transfers work out perfectly. Sometimes a change of scenery is just what you need for your production to really shine through. Remember that when you go to work tomorrow. You can be just like Brent Moss and Frederick King. Both players stood tall for their teams with some standout performances Wednesday night, but both efforts came in hard-fought losses. Moss tied his career high with a game-high 19 points and grabbed 7 boards to lead his San Antonio, Texas Roadrunners, but they still couldn't get their first win in American Conference play. After 9 ties and 7 lead changes, the UAB Blazers pulled away late for the 83-75 win. King continued his impressive first year with the Murray State Racers. He recorded his 7th double-double of the season with 19 points and 11 rebounds, but Murray State came up just short in a 70-65 loss to Illinois State.
Just when it looked like things wasn't working out in Spain, Travis Munnings had a change of scenery and signed with a new club. Munnings has signed with Spanish Premier FEB team Monbus Obra after parting ways with Corvian Granada of the ACB League earlier this month. Munnings, who played 11 games with Granada, averaged 2.6 points, 1.3 rebounds, and 0.5 assists in just 12 minutes per game, and now gets a fresh opportunity to showcase his talent in one of Europe's top leagues with Obra. Over the course of his pro career, Munnings also played in Portugal and France. He began his professional career in France with La Rochelle in the NM1 League, then played for Boulazac and Orthez in the Pro B League. He then went to Portugal, where he played with UD Ovarense and Beneficia in the Portugal Basketball League. Spain is the most recent stop when he joined Fuenlabrada and LEB Oro.
I can't tell if everything going on in California is good or bad for Bahamian basketball. It feels like it changes day to day. We are still confused after last night. Golden State and Los Angeles were on opposite sides of the scoreboard Wednesday night, but both games featured notable contributions from Buddy Hield and DeAndre Ayton. In Salt Lake City, the Warriors rolled to a 140-124 win over the Utah Jazz. Hield scored 13 points in 17 minutes on 5 for 8 shooting from the field, 3 for 6 from 3. The Warriors made 23 threes and have won 6 of their last 9 games. Meanwhile, in Cleveland, it was a tough night for the Lakers, who lost 129-99 to the Cleveland Cavs. Ayton finished with 10 points on a perfect 4 for 4 shooting night with 4 boards in just 19 minutes. Since taking a shot to the eye on January 20th against Denver, Ayton's playing time and his production have taken a hit. But I'll just point this out, the Lakers are 10-1 this season when Ayton scores at least 15 points. Seems obvious what to do. That'll do it for Our Sports. This is 10YS. I've been thinking about the Bill Belichick thing. We need to do something like that in the Bahamian Sports Hall of Fame to get people talking.
Imagine if your dad didn't make the Hall of Fame.
That would be as crazy as if Buddy didn't make the Hall of Fame. Back to the studio.
When our news comes back from the break, January is wrapping up and the events are rolling in. As Bahamians head back out, we're taking a look at how to find the right makeup look for every occasion. And that's coming up when our news returns. Stay with us.
Oh, isn't that nice? Wait, you missed it? Ah, you haven't been on the website. Here's how TDC can help you. Whether you're turning your home into a vacation rental, pitching a business idea, or growing what you've already started, the TDC is here to help. Visit tdcbahamas.com for every conversation, event, grant, and opportunity happening near you. Tourism is all of our business, and the TDC is here to support yours.
In what we do at Best Brew, it really doesn't end when the customer purchases our product. We offer specialty coffee, tea, spices, and brewing equipment. We do a lot of our orders via website. We actually have the mobile service and the phone service and the internet. So having Business in a Box really kind of brought everything together for us and helps us to be able to provide the customer services that we pride ourselves on.
Every week, one show drives the national conversation. On the Record. We challenge the issues, ask the tough questions, and dig deeper. We bring in the experts, the decision makers, and the voices that matter. Our discussions shape policy, influence change, and inform the public like no other. Join us every Thursday at 8 p.m. and again on Sunday at 8:30 p.m. Catch us streaming live on Facebook or catch up with your favorite episodes on our YouTube channel. The conversations that shape the Bahamas start here, on the Record.
Conflict doesn't have to end in chaos. Before it escalates, take a breath. Step back. Choose peace. Listen to understand. Respectful conversations lead to real solutions. I am Sergeant 3599 Johnson of the Royal Bahamas Police Force, urging you, let's talk it out, not fight it out.
This is our news. Welcome back. We have some headlines to get you started with. Of course, you've been hearing about this cold front we expect to get near by Sunday. That front is actually going to be a very potent one. We're expecting some very serious weather with that. Cold temperatures, gale force wind conditions. So boating and beaching, you're not advised for the weekend. We're actually asking you to stay out of the waters beginning tomorrow because the winds are going to be picking up on Saturday. And of course, those colder temperatures will be getting in our area by Sunday, Monday time frame. Locally across our area though, we still have that frontal boundary down near the southeast Bahamas, producing some cloudy conditions as well as some isolated showers, possibly even an isolated thunderstorm. The moisture associated with that front will lift back towards the north, so we could see an increase in some clouds. We did have a lot of sunshine across the northwest Bahamas today, but we could see cloudy conditions as well as some isolated showers. But of course, the main story would be all of this. You don't really see much. You just see these are blue. That's cold air mass headed our way, actually, courtesy of a dip in jet stream. As I mentioned, the Department of Meteorology is putting out a statement. They're actually asking you to prepare for this. So if you are cold weather lovers, love the cold air that's coming, it's going to be here by Saturday night into Sunday, and that should take us into the early part of the upcoming week. Future forecast showing quiet conditions across the area. As I mentioned, just a few scattering of showers near the southeast Bahamas, courtesy of that boundary. But the moisture will lift back towards the north through Friday and into Saturday, bringing us some increased chances for some showers. But here comes that front. By Saturday afternoon, it should be getting into the northwest Bahamas, bringing us some showers as well as even an isolated thunderstorm. But behind that, cold air mass is expected. Boating forecast for the night and tomorrow, northwest Bahamas. Caution flag in place, moderate risk of rip currents out there, east to southeast winds 10 to 50 knots. Seas 2 to 4 feet near shore waters, but building up to 6 feet in offshore waters in some northeasterly swells. While in the central and southeast Bahamas, caution flag in place down there as well. Winds will be easterly at 15 to 20 knots, seas running 4 to 7 feet over open waters in northeasterly swells. Here's a look now at your national forecast. In the extended forecast, increased moisture bringing us a couple of showers Friday and Saturday, but the front comes through Saturday night and Saturday afternoon actually into Saturday night, and the winds are going to be picking up, gale force winds. We're expecting some winds actually up to 50 knots, so boating is not advised. And across Florida, they're actually expecting just a scattering of some snow, so we may get some very cold temperatures during that time frame. That's a look at our weather. Make it a safe night, everybody.
All right, thanks so much for that, Greg. Well, applying makeup can be intimidating for so many women, from identifying the right technique to brushes and products. Tonight, our Daniel Miller speaks to an expert in the beauty industry.
Is coming to an end, and you know what that means? Events, and more events. Break time is over. It is time to go outside, and sometimes I understand that finding the right face of makeup can be a challenge, but I have Mandisa, who has been an expert in the makeup department for more than 18 years, to show you how to get that perfect beat. From local clients to international customers from as far as Zimbabwe, Africa, professional makeup artist Mandisa Smith shares with me the biggest lesson she's learned about the perfect beat.
And one thing that I've learned during this time is that skin is actually the true foundation before anything.
So how do you find your true foundation to enhance your natural glow?
What I like to do when I'm testing persons for a foundation, I like to do a 3 swatch on the jawline. And the color that actually melts into the skin is your shade. Concealer, I like to choose maybe a shade lighter than your actual foundation, because concealer is made to target, not to put all over the face. But what I like to do when I'm putting on foundation, I like to pat, because we want to actually get the makeup into the skin. We don't want to swipe, because then it's going to leave streaks. See if you can feel where I'm putting your concealer. I'm targeting areas right now. Under your eyes, over your lip, down your nose, and on the forehead. So it's supposed to give the appearance of the sun kissing you.
Wow. And with a swipe of Smith's brush, she applied the setting powder, eyeliner, blush, face powder, eyebrows, and in less than 45 minutes, the natural beat was complete. A look that not only transformed my features, but enhanced.
Fellas, once you hear that sound, you know it's time to go.
Reporting for our news, I'm Danielle Miller.
All right, gorgeous. If you want to see that story again, it's available now at rnews.bs. And with that, we thank you so much for joining us for our news tonight. On behalf of the entire team, I'm Natalia Hall. We'll see you tomorrow night. Have a great evening.